Well, hello everyone. Welcome to Tech Talk with Dave. I'm Dave Cleland from MBSI WAV in Medicine Hat, Alberta. And today our session is going to be about a fun little app, program, not quite sure what to call this, that I discovered one day in reading an article called Open Speed Test. So I tried it, and guess what? I like it a lot. So we know the need for a speed test of some sort. We have to take and measure the capacity oftentimes between 2 points on the network. Going to some place like speedtest.net on the internet is a problem because we're letting our speed test escape out of our control. Once we leave our core routers and we're heading out on the internet, yes, there might be lots of capacity there, but there might not be. And so we may not see problems on our network from that. For example, I have my internet service provider at home. They have a speed test site. If I test to it, I get what I think is a pretty accurate indication of what my internet connection will do. But speedtest.net uses ping to determine what the best testing site is, and so if another site gets checked, maybe another private server someplace or whatever the case happens to be, I can see as much as I have a gig connection at home, and so typically I get 920, 940 megabits in both directions off that link. But I've gone to test to other locations and seen as low as 400 or 500, and so it's too variable for a piece of test equipment. So what's the solution? Open Speed Test looks to me like it's a really good solution. So a couple ways that we want to take and be able to test our system as customer phones in, and right on the spot you want to be able to take and know that what's going on there. So as a technician or engineer, you want to know how the facility is performing. The sub, of course, wants to know that, yes, I'm getting everything that I'm paying for. And as the network operator, you want to know that a facility installed 2 years ago or a link installed 2 years ago is still performing at the same level. Typical, as I mentioned, speed test servers located all over the globe. But when you log on to one, you'll rarely know where the server is actually located. You know the network it's on, but you might not know how you have to get there. And so, as I mentioned, there can be a huge difference, 20 to 50% difference in results between reachable servers. So, what's the answer? Do your own. Well, you can do an Ookla server if that's what you want. This is much simpler. Open Speed Test is open source software that's available for Windows, Mac, and Linux hosts. It doesn't matter what the computer is, you can install it on. You can install a probe computer at strategic locations throughout your network. Run this server on it, and all you do to access the server, the test is HTML5 based. So to access the server with the software running, enter the IP address and then the IP port number. So the default port for this is 3000. I can take and set that port to whatever it is I want, because you see the change port button that's in the display there. So I enter my IP address, the port number, and it comes up with a display that looks like this. And so it has a little speedometer graph, and I hit go for the test, and the downlink comes first, the uplink comes next. Ping and jitter are calculated during the session setup, and the test takes less than a minute for most of the time. You can run the test longer as a stress test. 3 different time lengths you can set at the time that you're running the test. And so this happens to be the result from a device behind a network that I've got in my lab, and so I've got some latency in the downlink, but the uplink is pretty much wide open, as you can see here. Anyway, my favorite probe is a Raspberry Pi, a 4B. So I've got a few of these, and I try to buy them with as much RAM as I can get in them. I got 4 gig in a couple, and I've got 8 gig in a few. Powered over a USB-C port, running Debian Linux. It's easy to learn and easy to manipulate. And so there's the installing it. Pretty simple. You install Snapd, reboot your device, you install Snapd's core, and then you install the Open Speed Test server, and boom, it's up. When you run the program, It comes up with its version. You present it with instructions. Checking port 3000 status, it says, right? It's available. Starting, says started. So now in order to run this, go to the IP address of the device, happens to be 200.192.168.250 in this case, on port 3000, and bam, you run it. These probes can be really inexpensive. A new Raspberry Pi costs about $100 Canadian, and since then I've found some others that are less money than that, that are maybe a little bit more powerful than that, that are using, you know, multiple core RISC processors that work great for this kind of installation, kind of testing. The link shown will take you to the OpenSpeed Test manual website, and specific syntax recommendations. All sorts of other information is available there. Also, various installation options are available. One that intrigues me the most is Docker. I can set this up as a container and just have it run on a virtual machine, and it's secure, and all is well with it. The website has Mac installation instructions. I rarely play with Apple equipment, but it's got downloads for everything. So as usual, we welcome your feedback and your comments, and any new topic suggestions that you have, send them to marketing@mbsiwave.com. We'll be happy to receive your feedback, your comments, and who knows, maybe the next Tech Talk is going to be your suggestion. See you later.